Hello everyone, Lytro Storm here, and today we're going to continue What If the Ginyu Force Became Good. You guys seem to like it more than I anticipated, so let's give you a part 2, here and now. In the first part, we discussed how, with Vegeta not killing all the Ginyu Force, they proved rather useful to the strength of the Z Fighters. They resulted in Vegeta, Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo all getting stronger, and even the Earthlings got a power up by having to mentor and train them for a bit. However, all this new power led to Dr. Gero escaping, which made him eventually confront his creation from the future, Cell. But Piccolo saved him just in the nick of time. Cell made it to his perfect state and announced the Cell Games, and the Ginyu Force went in the time chamber with the newly formed 16, which boosted them drastically above the human Z Fighters. This prompted them to go in as well, evening the odds a bit, although Ginyu himself was stronger than all of them. So that's basically all the short bits of part 1, but there's plenty more information for you to learn by watching it before you watch this part. I'll leave a link in the comment section. Anyway, as always, be sure to join my Discord and follow me on Twitter, links in the description. Alright, so our next stop is the Cell Games, so let's not waste any time and get right to them. The gang arrives as Cell begins taking on challengers. First is Mr. Satan, who is easily beaten like in canon. Next is Goku, who is slightly stronger than the original. Goku and Cell clash, however Cell quickly picks up the pace, and it's clear our hero isn't winning anytime soon. Goku tries a Warp Kamehameha, but Cell just regenerates like in canon. That's when he tells his opponent that he gives up. Cell and everyone else is shocked that Goku would give up a fight as crucial as this, but he announces that Gohan was stronger than him all along. He gives Cell a Senzu Bean, which is actually encouraged by the Ginyus as they prefer fair fights. Gohan is easily bodied by Cell as he refuses to fight back, but that's when Ginyu begins yelling to him that he needs to do something or he'll never accomplish his dreams of becoming a scholar. Gohan begins showing a bit more resilience, actually throwing punches that mostly land. Remember that this Goku is stronger than the Gohan who fought Cell in canon, and this Gohan is stronger than this Goku. So he's actually a good contender for Cell, although Cell does have the advantage. Cell is laughing, showing off his full power and thrashing Gohan, but he's managing to block a few hits every now and then. However, that's when Cell yells that he's too weak to really pose much of a threat for him at this point, charging a beam to kill him. But he's grabbed at the last second by Android 16. 16 tells Cell that he'll finally end things, and prepares to detonate himself. Remember from part 1 that with Dr. Gero there to help Brief and Bulma with reprogramming 16, the bomb still remains. The Ginyus yell for 16 to stop, as over the 3 months they spent in the time chamber they had actually bonded with the android. However, 16's mind was made up, and the bomb was detonated. However, Cell re-emerged. The attack wasn't enough to kill him, just destroy some parts of his body that he regenerated. And this is based on Cell saying that 16's bomb wouldn't have worked even if it was still there. Cell knows his own power and would likely know about Gero's plans to kill Goku, which the bomb was originally intended to do. Speaking of which, I doubt Gero expected Cell and 16 to fight, as the bomb was originally intended to be used on Goku, whose power wasn't even seen close to Cell's. Anyway, with this, 16 was completely destroyed. Cell dusted himself off and healed his wounds, walking over to Gohan. The boy was on the ground. He couldn't believe what he had seen. Someone who's willing to give their life for everyone here. He had seen the look on the Ginyu Force's faces when he leaped onto Cell, and it was of pure horror and shock. People cared about this person. This person cared about people, and he threw himself away just to try and save them. Gohan was a bit angry at this, attacking Cell with more strength than before. Cell was still slightly stronger, but less so than in canon, with Gohan landing many good blows on him. However, as before, the Green Warrior quickly began overpowering him, which led to less strength being outputted by his opponent. He decided to summon up the Cell Juniors. This time, since there were 5 extra warriors, he'd make 5 more, bringing about 12. Everyone was getting bodied by the Juniors, although they were doing better than in canon. Gohan had to watch all of this happen, and he couldn't take it. but he still couldn't bring himself to output any further power. The Ginyu Force and Goku were close by, each one taking on a Cell Jr. of their own. Their teamwork was drastically restricted by this. Ginyu quickly came up with an idea though. He wanted to get the crew closer to Cell so they could all attack, and he had just a plan for it. Goku managed to use a Warp Kamehameha to destroy the junior Ginyu was fighting, so that he and Birder could use instant transmission rapidly to confuse the rest of them, leaving them open for the remaining members to attack. This works, and Goldo, Raccoon, Jace, and Ginyu lay a beating on the 5 remaining that oppose them. Goku and Birder eventually join in, resulting in another death of Cell's offspring. Cell noticed these 2 deaths, and quickly realized that the Z-Fighters were a lot smarter than he thought, so he tells the Cell Juniors to stop toying around and go for the kill. Goku immediately realized that this meant the Earthlings were practically already dead. He might be able to save them with instant transmission, but that would leave the Ginyu Force up against 4 Cell Juniors, and none of them are even as strong as Piccolo. Goku had to make the sacrifice of his human friends. It was better to finish off the 4 that were still here and save 5 lives than to lose 5 and the progress they've made. This results in 3 of the 4 Cell Juniors they were fighting to be killed. This leaves 7 while the Earthlings were killed by the others. This enraged Goku, who smashed his teeth together and his hair was spikier than ever before. He quickly attacked Vegeta's opponent, killing him in just 2 blows before his hair returned to that of the normal Super Saiyan. Gohan watched all this. Android 16, Tenshinhan, Yamcha, Krillin. All of their deaths were because of him, and now his father, Trunks, Vegeta, and Piccolo will be too. The Ginyus made a combined attack, with a time stop to leave the Junior open, Blue Hurricane, Crusher Ball, Tri-Beam, and Milky Cannon to damage it. This damage did enough so that they could help Goku and the others. Ginyu charged in head first, headbutting a Cell Junior away from Goku. He was quickly thanked, but the captain cut him short. He realized that they were all going to die if Gohan didn't do something, and recalled Goku transforming back on Namek. Ginyu looked Goku dead in the eyes, with an extremely serious expression on his face. Goku was shocked, asking him if he really meant he would do it. Goku was shocked, asking him if he really meant he would, but the captain cut him off once again. I'll do what I have to protect my comrades. Ginyu then called for Birder, who appeared at his side, grabbing his shoulder and appearing on the arena, before disappearing, to leave the captain on his own. Everyone noticed this, including the Cell Juniors, and they all stopped fighting. Ginyu looked at Cell the same way he did Goku, as if he had come to terms with his decision long ago. He charged in, attacking Cell from every angle, using everything in his arsenal, but nothing worked. Ginyu kept his stern look, and asked why Cell wasn't fighting back. Silence. He yelled it again. Why aren't you fighting back? He was stopped. A beam glowed in his chest. A very familiar end, he thought, before collapsing onto the ground, and smiling at Gohan one last time. Cell chuckled at this. He was rather curious as to why someone so inferior would attack head-on. And that inferior talk got the Ginyus burning up with anger, but Goku halted them. Someone else was angry. It was Gohan. Gohan finally stood up for the first time in a while. You killed Tenshinhan, Yamcha. I didn't know them as well as the others, but they count. That was strike 1. Then you killed Krillin, my friend. That's strike 2. But you couldn't help yourself. Even then you took more. And you took Mr. Ginyu. That's strike 3. Gohan could barely muster out words, but he managed to tell Cell that he was done for after killing this many people that mattered so much to him. Gohan threw his head into the air, and eventually it came level once more, but his hair had changed. He was now a Super Saiyan 2. With this, he easily killed all the Cell Juniors, and began beating down Cell. The boy took his time making Cell suffer, and he eventually knocked Android 18 out of him, who Birder grabbed and flew back with. Cell then prepared to destroy the Earth by self-destructing, but Goku was not going to let that happen. Goku instant transmissioned his way over to Cell, telling everybody goodbye, before teleporting to King Kai's and ending things. Only, things weren't ended. Cell returned, killing Trunks in his wake. This infuriated Vegeta, who lashed out, dealing a bit of damage to Cell, but resulted in Gohan having to save him, breaking an arm. Gohan is too weak to win now, but he and Cell use the Kamehameha to clash, and Vegeta, Piccolo, and the Ginyus help to make him win. Gohan crashes into the ground, having won, and later everyone gathers on the lookout. They used the Dragon Balls to revive everyone who was killed, except Goku, who didn't want to return. Oh yeah, Ginyu also didn't return just yet. He decided that he wanted to stay with his friendly adversary Goku. This would leave the Ginyu Force to do whatever they wanted for a while, but he told them to expect them back at some point. By the way, they're explaining all this through King Kai. Goku and Ginyu bid everyone one last farewell before the 7-year gap begins. So what happens over this time is all the Z Fighters do their original thing as in canon. Only difference is, every now and then Krillin and Yamcha will train as well, but not a lot. Goten and Trunks would still be born, and Gohan would still not train. However, the Ginyu Force decide to make something of themselves while Captain Ginyu is gone. Of course, they still train together and get a lot stronger than in canon, but they also get jobs as police officers. The world becomes a lot safer with superhuman people being able to stop bad guys. Anyway, they also visit Gohan and Goten a lot, and actually encourage Goten to train, sparring with him every now and then between jobs. This allows for him to surpass Trunks by a little bit. However, one day the Ginyus report that they're going to be out for a long time, probably like 4 months. And so while Goten and Trunks are hanging out, Recoome encourages Goten to continue training with his old partner Ten Shinhan. He tells him that he learned a pretty powerful technique from him, and he thinks it'll be worth his time. If they travel around Earth, they'll eventually find his energy. And so the Ginyu police force move into action. Goten wants to go train, but is nervous, and so Trunks volunteers to go with him. However, friendship isn't his only motivation for this. He's noticed Goten is a bit stronger, and so he hopes to close that gap. The two head out, and eventually find Ten Shinhan and Chaozu training. They explain what Goten's uncle Recoome had told them, and Ten Shinhan smiles at this. He agrees to have them trained for a while, but they'll have to completely change up their attitudes toward fighting. They need to make their skill and strength the most valuable things to them. The two then begin their training by switching up their gis into something resembling Ten Shinhan's color scheme. Goku and Ginyu over the 7 years have sparred intensely and learned the fusion dance as well. This extra partner helped Goku gain more strength, and also gave him someone to use Super Saiyan 3 against, making it a bit more stable than in canon. It also helped that Ginyu had picked up the Kaioken, and could take it to levels Goku never even thought of when he used it. Eventually, the 4 months were nearly at their end, and Gohan ended up training Videl while Goten and Trunks returned home to see their families. This was when Goku revealed that he and Ginyu were returning for the next Budokai. This got everyone hyped up, and so the rest of the Buu saga will hopefully be covered in Part 3. I've only laid the groundwork for it with this part so that you can have the next part focusing on only the antics of Buu. Let me know if you're excited and if you like this part, and if this video can reach 300 likes, I'll begin Part 3 sooner. But as always, like the video if you enjoyed, tell me what you think will happen next, comment your requests for future videos, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.